Hey, what's up guys? Gons here for the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. As promised, we're going to look at the second email from allegedly Edgar Mitchell to John Podesta. Now, some people have said that this is a hoax, and I tried to look into it a little bit. I didn't spend a whole lot of time, but it seems to be genuine. Now, the email itself might be a hoax. In other words, somebody might have sent an email from an email address that wasn't theirs, or mimicked it, or all sorts of possibilities are there. But the information within seems to be pretty consistent with some of the rumors that have been swirling around in the world of conspiracy anyway. Again, I pointed some of those things out yesterday with the ties to the Vatican and their investigation and interests into the extraterrestrial intelligence topic. So, it's not something that's crazy that, Edgar Mitchell would send something to John Podesta to talk about this ET phenomenon. So, nothing crazy there. Now, the second email is a little bit interesting because it goes into the other aspect of this whole space thing. And if you look at the email, basically here, email from John Podesta, space treaty attached, terrybillionaires@aol.com to John Podesta. It says, "Dear John, because the war in space race is heating up, I felt you should be aware of several factors as you and I schedule our Skype talk. Remember, our nonviolent ETI from the contiguous universe are helping us bring zero-point energy to Earth." Now, by the way, contiguous, some people were asking what that meant. Basically, sharing a common border, touching, which means basically probably our physical universe, our physical reality that we can deduce right at this moment. Getting back to the email here, they will not tolerate any forms of military violence on Earth or in space. And it mentions a couple names, and it talks about space weapons in outer space. Now, it goes into all these links. You have this first one where he says that the Federal Minister for Planning, Development and Reforms, Ashan Iqbal, proposed cooperation in space technology between Pakistan and China as part of the historic declaration, saying it will take the Pak-China relations to new heights. And we've talked about this on this channel. If you dig around, just even recently, China launching a quantum computer, China talking about, conquering space. This is very common news. This is out there. And it's happening at a level, I think, that is beyond what we're told, and also at a level where I think most people are unaware of how much development is happening in space. Now, the second link that he leaves here is the cosmic consequences of space weapons, why they must be banned to preserve our future. Then you've got war in space isn't considered fantasy anymore. Then you have this link here, anti-satellite missiles and international tensions, see US, China, Russia preparing for war in space. And remember, I speculated, and again, this is just pure speculation here, but when we talk about the final three beasts that conglomerate into the fourth beast, could it be, if they are nations, a lot of people say they are nations, if they are, and here we're talking about the lion with eagle's wings that were plucked off, and then we're talking about the second one that's like a bear, really interesting, right? I mean, a lot of people associate bear with Russia, and then you have the third one, another like a leopard with four wings of a bird on its back, and the beast had four heads and dominion was given to it. And then after this, it was the fourth beast that crushed all of them together. And this is the same final beast kingdom that I think is prophesied in Revelation 13. If you go there, that beast right here that has a leopard, bear, and lion conglomerate, that's the final beast in my opinion. But in any case, going back to this letter here, the idea of a space race, space weapons, all that stuff, I actually wrote a book on it that's not been edited, it hasn't been published. I will show you parts of it. This is a rough draft of it right now. I've written over 40,000 words on this document. Actually, I think if you go back and dig in, I've written a total of probably 400 pages on this topic. So, if you guys think that I should finish this, let me know. I need some encouragement. I need some prayers. The other option is for me to go back, revise these chapters one by one, and actually turn them into videos for you guys as sort of a documentary series type of thing that I've been planning to do anyway. But also, again, I have other projects in the works. The Supernatural documentary is still in the works. It might morph into Age of Deceit 3. We'll have to see. But in any case, this is a topic that I really looked into about a year and a half ago, and I've kept track of it in the news in the last year. There's certainly something happening. There are changes happening. There is different news coming out about this information, and something is changing. And I think this email, whether it be real or not, it's being pushed into the public subconscious, or actually conscious now because it's right in front of them, for a reason, and there's an agenda behind it. And I think that there's a tie-in here with the revealing of these entities in Revelation 12 as well, where there's some very interesting things written there about the prophecies that are very difficult to weigh out. So maybe that's something I'll dig into as well, and I think I do in this book at some point. But in any case, I have to keep this video short. I have car issues that I need to figure out, so I gotta get going. But just to be brief here, whether fake or not, there is a concerted effort to create and develop into space. And I think maybe even SpaceX is being sabotaged in some way. Maybe there's different factions. Again, I think there's a lot of drama happening amidst the elite, or in the realm of the rich and powerful on this planet. And it's not necessarily that we should take sides or anything, but I do think there is a faction that is slowing down some of the progress of this crazy system that the evil ones are trying to build. And perhaps they're doing it out of their human desire. Perhaps there are Christians amongst them. I don't know. I have no idea. But I do know that this sort of thing is happening. It's real in terms of the money that's being poured into it. And that's why, that was the biggest thing I wanted to find out, was where would the money come from to create a secret space program, secret space weapons, that sort of thing. And there is a very good explanation that some good researchers have suggested that I think really makes sense when you start looking at the global system, how it operates, and how it would be able to fund not just a black budget, because there's a black budget, everybody knows about that, but beyond that, the highly secretive, highly operative, underground, unseen almost projects. And in that realm, guaranteed there is contact with entities. And so these entities, again, tie back into the Genesis 6 narrative and the Nephilim and all that stuff. And I think that there is something there that is very powerful, in that the gospel speaks so true, and the solution that Christ provides is so evident and so necessary in this world, where again our battle is not against flesh and blood. So these entities, if they are flesh and blood, are clearly in some sort of abominable state where they're not supposed to be. And I think part of the human project, or the human deception, has been to help build physical hosts for these spiritual entities that lost their bodies in the flood. That's my theory. And so it ties into all this space stuff, and it's a little crazy. It gets out there, I get it. But you don't have to start all the way deep in the rabbit trail. You can start with black budget programs, and then look at things like the Operation Golden Lily from Japan during World War II, and even before that there were the airship mysteries and very strange and fascinating things that surround this whole topic. So I encourage you guys to look into it, and again, let me know if you guys think I should dive back into this, because this topic seems to be at the forefront again. There's other researchers that have done really good research on this. Olaf Phillips is one of those guys, and also Joseph P. Farrell, who obviously I disagree with in worldview, but I respect his research. There hasn't really been a Christian to look at this stuff in that way, and I think maybe this is a place where I think Bible prophecy has a very, very strong connection to all this that's happening with the secret space program, with deep underground military bases, with high above our head military bases, perhaps even conquering other realms in terms of planets. Who knows? I mean, I know some of you guys think that they don't exist anymore, but think about that for a second. For those of you who are flat earthers and who say that there's no space, think about it for just a second. Wouldn't it be the most powerful way to deceive if the very people that can actually make a difference, that can actually expose this stuff, all start believing in a flat earth again, in a domed, enclosed earth again? And my position has always been, I don't know, man. I don't know if we live in a dome, we live in a dome, and all this stuff is a lie. Nevertheless, billions and billions of dollars are being poured into it. Something has to be happening, otherwise they wouldn't be pouring that much money into it, So there's got to be development is what I mean. There's got to be infrastructure. There's got to be something that's being built with this money. So that's why I think, to just buy into the flat earth, hook, line, and sinker, is to completely omit all of this information, including good research done by Christians like David Flynn and his work. I mean, you buy flat earth, you completely dismiss David Flynn's work. You possibly go with geocentric earth, and you have a very strong case about how David Flynn's model of some of the things, how heaven reflects on earth, and sort of the design of everything, it becomes very compelling. And so those are elements that are not in the book actually, but maybe I should add it. Sorry for the editing and the weirdness of this video. I just needed to pump one out so that I can get this information out there. Have an awesome day, guys. God bless.